This innocent woman was attacked by a police dog outside her own home.
Please! Help me!
We're trying to get you off.
Desiree Collins was taking out her trash when the leashed canine latched onto her arm while on the hunt for a suspect. So what did Collins do to provoke Gabe the German Shepherd? Nothing, according to police.
What did I do to him?
Nothing. It's not your fault.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Just take a seat over here, okay?
52-year-old Collins has filed suit against the same Minnesota police officer,
Get some medics for you now.
claiming the dog's leash was too long. The department has since apologized, and the officer Gabe was suspended for 1 day. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
It's a terrifying moment as a SWAT team bursts in. But imagine if they've been summoned by a hoaxer. It's called swatting, when someone calls 911 to report a hostage situation, sending a SWAT team racing to the scene.
There were people 5 feet away from me with guns and rifles.
Happened to Mike Stack, a conservative blogger. A SWAT team surrounded Stack's home minutes after receiving this chilling 911 call.
I killed my wife.
You killed your wife? And how did you kill her?
I shot her.
Stack showed Arlisa Guerrero how he was dragged from his home in the middle of the night.
Mike, were you afraid that you could have lost your life that night?
I believe I probably could have lost my life.
Jordan Mathewson is another swatting victim.
There's one in the corner.
Put your hands behind your back!
He was playing a computer game when the SWAT team burst in after a 911 call about a massacre that turned out to be bogus. Miley Cyrus is another victim of swatting. A SWAT team surrounded her LA mansion after a phony call that she was being held hostage.
We checked the residence. There's nobody home. We believe it's a prank call.
This knucklehead actually set up a swatting channel. He made $4,000 by charging viewers to watch him call in hoaxes. This one targeting Purdue University.
Pretty police can help you.
You have until 5 p.m. to disarm or find the bombs.
And he's at Florida State University Student Center, laughing after phoning in another bogus bomb scare.
Guys, look, everybody is leaving.
Ashton Lundaby served 2 years in federal juvenile detention.
I will not do anything like this again.
Now, in Wichita, Kansas, a father of 2 was gunned down by a police officer after a bogus 911 call allegedly made by 25-year-old gamer Tyler Barris from his home in Los Angeles, 1,400 miles away.
Walk this way! Walk!
It's what authorities feared would happen. A SWAT incident causing the tragic death of an innocent man.
On any given weekend, 300,000 to 400,000 children fly solo across the country. And it means big money for the airlines, which charge parents an extra $300 round trip for their child to travel unaccompanied. Now, they promise to keep the kids safe, but as our investigation found, that is not always the case.
8-year-old Aaliyah Purdy is about to go on a great adventure all by herself.
Going on the plane by myself.
Aaliyah is flying from Newark, New Jersey to Charlotte, and her anxious father, Matt, is there to see her off.
It's her first time.
She seems like she's going to be natural.
He's putting his daughter's safety in the hands of American Airlines and its unaccompanied minor program. With her parents' permission, we followed Aaliyah with a hidden camera to see what she experienced. Aaliyah was seated in the last row to make it easier for attendants to keep an eye on her.
We are above 10,000 feet right now.
Lucky for her, she had the row all to herself until this happened. producer left his assigned seat and sat down right by her, and no one did a thing. The flight attendants were too busy serving refreshments. We were even able to give Aaliyah a candy bar. Imagine if he had been a complete stranger. Like little Aaliyah, this 13-year-old girl, Mackenzie, also flew on American Airlines. In her case, it was on a flight from Dallas to her home in Portland. But what she says happened to her at 30,000 feet will shock you.
I would never think this would happen.
Mackenzie says she was groped by the passenger sitting next to her, Chad Camp, who upon landing was charged with abusive contact. He's pled not guilty. Mackenzie's mother, Rachel Miller.
He was able to touch her. He was able to basically do whatever he wanted.
Their lawyer, Brent Goodfellow, has filed a lawsuit against the airline.
From the beginning of the flight to when they found her crying, tear coming down her cheek, and the man's hand in her crotch area was approximately 30 minutes.
Youngsters flying alone sometimes face other nightmares. Inside Edition found that in the past 5 years, there have been 244 complaints about unaccompanied minors filed with the Department of Transportation. Can you believe this headline? JetBlue lost my kid. 5-year-old Andy Martinez, the kid in the baseball cap waving goodbye at the airport in the Dominican Republic on his way home to New York City, was actually put on the wrong flight.
It's a mother's worst nightmare that their 5-year-old child is missing.
Instead of boarding the flight to JFK Airport, little Andy somehow ended up in Boston. And when his mother showed up at JFK to pick him up, the airline gave her the wrong kid.
She goes to see him. It's not her child. It's another child with her son's passport.
Fortunately for Aaliyah Purdy, she landed safe and sound and ended in the warm embrace of her mom. But young Mackenzie knows her parent will never let her fly solo again.
You see this stuff and you think that's crazy. It happens to you and it's shocking.
American Airlines says they fully cooperated with law enforcement in Mackenzie's case and say they care deeply about young passengers and are committed to providing a safe travel experience.
Taylor Swift is far from the only woman who says she's had a groper.
It's happened twice for me and multiple times for other friends. Every time I go outside to a club, if I'm dressed in like a mini skirt or anything, always. It's kind of a terrible feeling.
This was the wild scene when New York City's passengers confronted a man they said had groped a woman.
On a subway train, especially a crowded one, you never know who may be lurking around you. A groper may think this is the perfect setting to get away with the crime.
How bad is the problem? Inside Edition carried out a random survey. More than 100 women filled out our questionnaire. To the question, have you ever been inappropriately touched or groped on the subway, a disturbing 33% answered yes.
I felt violated. It's very invasive.
Nancy Burns says she was brazenly groped in a subway station.
I stepped off the train like I did every morning, and I felt someone grab my vagina harshly. I was just shocked. I didn't know what happened. I yelled at him right away. It was just my natural reaction to protect myself.
To the question, if you have been groped, touched, or flashed, did you ever report it to police? Only 4 women in our survey said yes.
This happens more often than we're even aware of, right?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Inside Edition's Ann Mercogliano got some security expert Steve Cardian on how to protect yourself from a groper in any crisis.
You feel somebody moving in on you. You want to put this bad between you and him because he wants his body to touch your body. This will minimize or prevent it.
For help?
I would call him out first. Say, if you believe you're being groped or he's getting too close, back off. Don't touch me. Stay away from me. Loudly so everybody knows that there's a problem.
Another tip, use your elbows.
I've gotten too close to you. Hands inside. Good. Grab. This goes into my sternum and you push. That keeps me off of you.
So I should fight back?
You're fighting back.
Good advice to foil the gropers out there.
Police say if you are the victim of groping or any sexual assault, you should call 911 immediately. Our expert also recommends, if you can, get a photo of the assailant because it's easier police to investigate.